on the news story. In fact, we are now learning that the minors' parents will in fact be taken to the magistrate court tomorrow, and they will be in fact interrogated over there at the magisterial court. Remember, they have now both been taken to the Pune crime branch, and this is with regards to the blood swapping case. Let's quickly go across to Yesha Kotak, who's joining me live with more inputs. Yesha, what are you learning from your sources in terms of the interrogation that is to take place tomorrow?
Yes, in fact, now while the mother of the accused was arrested this morning, the father was in the judicial custody after after his remand in the driver's FIR ended, which is where cops had moved the court yesterday asking for the custody of the father to be to try him in the case pertaining to swapping of blood samples. The arrest of mother is pertaining to swapping of blood samples, which is where now the father's custody has also been taken. Both of them have been kept at the crime branch unit 4. Now both of them would be cross-questioned. In fact, both of them would be produced before the court. Their remand would be sought and there will be cross-questioning that will take place. Now this in fact comes in just as we've seen that the juvenile in this case was questioned for 2 hours by the crime branch. His mother was present there for the questioning, but he did not really respond to questions of the crime branch. Nothing much has come out of the investigation from the juvenile, which is where now both the mother as well as the father, they would be crucial, their statements would be crucial to understand who all were present and how did the blood swapping take place. In fact, what's important to understand is that considering there have always been speculations that it was the mother whose blood sample was swapped with that of the child, this becomes important. The arrest of mother becomes important, and which is where her blood samples would also be checked with the earlier blood samples. Apart from that, who were the other 3 people who were present at the laboratory is something that the parents would be questioned on. Now here all eyes are in fact on the parents of the juvenile accused, because their statement becomes crucial to understand. However, of course, they are both accused in this case, but their statement becomes important to piece together further evidences in this case, so as to understand who was the person who had gotten the father of the accused in touch with the doctor. Because just a few days back we had broken this story that there were 14 phone calls between the father of the accused and Dr. Ajay Tavre. Dr. Ajay Tavre was the one who was the HOD of forensic department. On his instruction was where Dr. Shivani Agarwal swapped those blood samples. Dr. Shivani Agarwal had mentioned that they were working on the instruction of a public representative. So here their statement would help understand who was this middleman in the case. Yes.
Absolutely. And when we in fact talk about the swapping of the blood samples, Yesha, how many people are now going to be, or rather have been booked as far as tampering and destruction of the evidence is concerned? We of course know that the interrogation of the minors' parents will be taking place tomorrow, but how many have been booked for destruction and tampering of evidence?
So in fact, when you speak of this FIR has so far 6 people who have been mentioned. One, of course, was the accused. He is, however, in remand home until June 5th, after which there were 3 arrests that were made. These 3 arrests were in the additional sections that were added to the FIR, that of destruction of evidence also. Prevention of Corruption Act has also been levied against the 2 doctors and 1 staff member from the Sasson hospital who has been arrested. That makes it 4. Now the other 2 arrests in this case are that of the mother and the father. So far in this very FIR, there have been 6 accused who have been named. In fact, these 6, the statements of the 6 accused would be cross-checked with the other accused. We've also seen there have been several people from Sasson hospital who have also been questioned, whose statements have been recorded to understand the further sequence of events. Let us take through what happened on Sunday, that is May 19. In the early wee hours, around 8:45 to 11 o'clock was where the father of the accused had called up Dr. Ajay Tavre, asking him to swap the blood samples of the accused. There were 14 such phone calls that were made, and the blood sample of the accused was collected just ahead of 9 o'clock, which means the phone call was made before the blood samples could be collected. Following which, the instructions were passed on to Dr. Shivani Agarwal to swap those blood samples. The CCTV footage from Sasson hospital shows that there were 6 people who entered the laboratory. One was accused, there were 2 parents of the accused, and there was a woman who was also present, and there were 2 elderly people. In fact, as per the records are concerned, the family had mentioned that the 2 elderly people were the grandparents of the accused, but the question also remains is that the grandfather, in his statement before the court, had mentioned that he was not in Pune on the day of the accident, he was in Delhi. He does not have a grandmother, which raises a question as to who were these 3 people who were present at when the blood samples were taken. So all of these 3 people, to find out as to who these 3 people were, was something that the cops will further go and investigate. Yes.
Absolutely, more details are awaited, especially considering that the interrogation of the minor accused's parents will be taking place tomorrow. Many thanks to you, Yesha, for bringing in all those inputs. And with that, let's now shift focus over to the 7th phase of the Lok Sabha polling, which is taking place